I mean, like, they're not
They're
gonna...
not. There's no squad leader upgrade. That's our new identity, okay? Don't fucking take that from us.
Clones
take
have
Exemplar?
always been overpowered.
Oh my god.
Always overpowered.
Bullshit.
In every edition, they're
When
always
we first came out and all we had was
Wow,
Kenobi.
we don't got
Bart.
Smith. Wow.
I think
You guys had so many Jedi. I got Luke.
Hello and welcome to another episode of 3 Foot Good. I'm Darren.
I'm Tyler.
And I'm Rich.
And in this episode, we're going to talk to you about some list building for second edition, some of the things that we've kind of found out,
Local opinions.
some of the changes that have been made, some of the things that we think are cool. And we've got a couple of guests, some guys that play with us at our friendly neighborhood game store.
Plus One.
Yeah, Games Plus One in Davenport, Iowa. They're going to hang out with us. One plays Empire, one plays Rebels, right?
Well, I mean, one plays, I think, about every faction.
Yeah, well,
Yeah, he played Empire last night.
Okay. Also, a big shout out to Germany. I had no idea anybody from Germany watches, so a shout out to Germany, which is really cool.
A lot of them.
Yeah, a lot of them.
A lot more than we thought.
Yeah, so thank you very much. And also, thank you to we got some new subscribers and stuff. Thanks to that. We appreciate it. We don't understand why. We really don't.
Right.
But thanks anyway. Thanks for showing up. Please, don't get us to 1,000, though. Don't get us 1,000.
Oh my god, that's right.
Yeah, we can't do it. We told Rich if we ever got to 1,000, we have to call him Sir Tech Wizard.
Yeah.
We don't want to call him Sir Tech Wizard. So whatever you do, don't get us to 1,000. So
No,
keep away
just
from that.
Stop.
So in like your time, it'll be like a couple of seconds. We're going to
Right.
switch stuff around, bring the other guys on. And while you're waiting, check this out. I know, I saw that. And so, hey, welcome. He's been filming us while we're shooting your
Right.
shit.
Like we said we were going to do.
Like we're gonna do. So welcome. So I hope you hang out with us for a little bit. We're gonna talk about the different factions. We're actually talking about a couple of games that we played yesterday. Hang out. We don't really have anything.
Depending on when this started, you might have heard us talk about LVO. I mean,
yeah. So and we were talking about LBO because we're going there. First, so before we get
talking about tournaments,
Yeah.
we did want to give a shout out to the Wampa Squadron up in Wisconsin, and it's a suburb of Madison, Wisconsin, Fricksburg. It's at the Noble Night Games. They actually have a tournament in September. It's the weekend after Labor Day weekend. The 7th.
September 7th, I believe.
They've got a tournament. All four of us are going, so Quad Cities are going to represent.
Yeah.
My son will be coming as well to play with his droids, so there'll be 5 of the 20 will be from the Quad Cities at least.
And they've got some room.
Oh
So
yeah, they
if
still
you're-
have some room. I think they only opened it only got posted within the last couple days.
Right, and this is through Longshanks. So
Yep.
if you look it up through Longshanks.
Longshanks, search through Wisconsin. There's only 2 Legion events in Wisconsin.
I think it's called Madtown Madness.
Yes.
I think so. Armand runs a really good tournament.
Yeah,
So,
we went up last year for the one that was at Noble Night Games. Darren and I did. We had a blast. I lost to the guy that won it. Darren lost to the guy that won it. So I mean, yeah, and it was fun. Again,
Yeah.
and the crew up there is amazing. Dan, you'll be missed because Dan can't.
Oh, he can't make it?
No, he's busy.
Oh no! Oh,
He said he'll be here in October. I said,
all right,
better.
all right. Gosh, I'm gonna miss you, Dan.
Yeah, but Jay will be there. Nick's gonna be there. Armand's gonna be there.
Right.
The whole Wampa crew is gonna be there,
Right
except
on.
for Dan.
Okay.
No Dan.
Hey, while we're doing this, might as well introduce. We got Chris and we got Kale. They hang out with us and they play at our local game store.
Yeah.
We already said that, right?
Yeah.
Games Plus One.
Yep.
Okay.
Say it again. It's fine.
Yeah, they
We're not
play with us
sponsored.
at our local game store, and they also run to some tournaments and stuff. In fact, one of us has got a rank.
Has
right?
a ranking in Longshanks
Yeah,
because
right
they
now
got
he's got
top
a
8.
ranking. Yeah, I wonder who that is. It couldn't be the guy who's smiling from here to here.
No.
I don't know. Could be anyone.
Yeah, it could be anyone. I wonder who that is. Uh-huh.
And was that was with the new rules?
No, it was old.
It was still the
This
old
old
rules.
rules.
Okay.
All right.
Yeah,
all right.
so that was like a week after the new rules, so they're like, don't worry about it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
So these two played last night.
We played last night.
Though Chris did not bring the gun line that Darren thought he was going to.
Okay, because for the longest time he's been playing this gun line,
I've
right?
been playing Echo Base with 4 FDs.
Yeah, I was like, I want to try my list against this gun line, and he shows up without the fucking gun.
With 2 air
Yeah.
it's still Echo
Go ahead.
Base.
Go ahead.
No, it's not Echo Base.
Oh, it's not. Okay.
It's Luke Han, 2 airspeeders, 3 AT-STs with flamers.
AT-RTs.
AT-RTs, whatever.
Yeah.
And then
Yeah, those aren't.
4 Rebel Trooper squads. Which-
specialist? Yeah.
which I'm pretty sure this is now the Rebel Trooper meta. Because I think agile and nimble on Rebel Troopers has made them great. And like I'm playing
vigilance.
And vigilance on Han, vigilance on Luke.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So they're walking right up there with them. You got them real close to them for the backup, because that is great.
Yes.
And they just stay alive a long
Han with
time.
backup in uncanny luck
Fuck
or whatever
Han.
it is.
Fuck
His
Han is
magic
uncanny
cloak.
luck.
Does he spell Pierce?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pierce
Yeah.
two,
Okay.
Yeah. Pierce 2, Sharpshooter 1.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay.
First turn, I recon intel, move Han again, and then he gets off 2 gunslinger shots. So he has
Because he's steady.
So he has 3 dodges on him. He brings in his Anakin, scouts in, moves twice to charge into him, and does 6 hits, I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
But Han has 3 dodges. Roll my 6 saves, get 3 of them, then roll 3 more with uncanny luck. Save all of them.
Yeah.
It was a
Pierce
great
Pierce
moment.
3.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
you took
yeah.
3.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
I mean,
Well,
it probably should have been a dead Han.
yeah. Well, even worse. Even worse. It gets better. So
Then
then, go ahead.
my next activation, recon intel Luke, and then bring him in right into that same combat. And then
Commander
we got,
Luke.
Yeah, Commander Luke. And it's Commander Luke, Han, and Anakin in hand-to-hand. And eventually it went for me.
Yeah.
But
How did Demso work out for you?
not great. I think I did over half of
Yes,
the
you
wounds
did.
to Luke.
So
That
what-
does suck.
Yeah.
that is
It's a
one of
tough
the changes
thing.
with,
Yeah.
with the mastery that Anakin had. Before it was if he spent a dodge, the unit took a wound. Now it's anytime an opponent attacks him in melee, if they don't roll all hits or crits, they take a wound. Doesn't matter how many blanks they have. If there's a blank, they take a wound.
Yeah.
So, Son of Skywalker, you probably
Son of
swung on him
Skywalker, I did
twice.
2 wounds.
Yeah.
And it just happened that every time I was attacking with Luke, I never had an aim. And like I would miss one every single time.
Yeah. And 3 wounds got through to you from Demso.
that,
Yeah.
yeah.
From that.
That's half his life pool.
Right.
Luke half killed himself.
And so Anakin, I'm sitting there with Anakin and 1 wound left, and I'm against Han and Luke. It's not looking very good. But Luke's already activated, and Han's sitting there, and he hasn't activated yet. Right? So I get my activation, and I go, well, I might as well get rid of Han because I'm protected, because now I got Luke in there, right? So I can't get shot at, and I got something else coming anyway to deal with Luke, and I attacked Han.
Tempted.
Sorry. I attacked Han.
You get it,
Don't
right?
worry. I attack Han, and the fucker still lives.
Uncanny luck.
Yeah.
He's got it.
Yeah,
Same damn thing.
same damn thing.
So then,
But
have you used Tempted?
yes, as a matter of fact, I did.
He did get to use it on me.
Yeah,
Unfortunately, you had to use it to finish off Han
Han.
instead of beating Luke
yeah.
with it.
Well, yeah, but then okay. So something cool about Republic now is in the previous version, I didn't take arcs anymore, full squad arcs. I just didn't take it anymore because they for me, I don't know about you guys, for me,
They died because, okay, and this is why they died, and it's part of the change in the thing is, before you were never really fighting over the middle on turn 1 and turn 2. You would be fighting over your objectives on turn 4, turn 5, turn 6. The arcs usually could not stay alive to matter. Yeah, yes, they have impervious. Yes, they have red saves.
Unless you fought against Kyle. They live forever.
Yeah.
He uses them. I hate them.
Yeah, yes. So if we played against Kale's brother, then they would always just roll blocks. But
mine just died.
they
Now,
always died, and they were expensive compared to what else you had.
now they have charge. The
Yep.
tactical one. So
They have the squad leader that can give
the
them
squad
reliable
leader,
ones.
which you can give them. Yeah, they can. You can do that, and so you can build them. So I build them with the 1 squad. I put 5s in it. He's already got charge. I know I'm kind of wasting charge a little bit. I might put that in. Something
Well,
else.
but still, it's a nice
Yeah.
dice pool.
So I throw Anakin in it.
Is Kyle the person who won?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
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 His brother.
Who you are?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You look familiar.
Kyle
There you
had-
go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right.
So
Yes, Kyle is our reigning champion for the Fault Roll.
Yeah.
Kyle had been coming in on his own for a while.
Yeah.
And then the next week, Kale came in on his own. and I wasn't sure it wasn't the same person. Because they look a lot alike.
There's
too.
a big reason.
Yeah,
It was just
Yes.
really tall.
Right,
Yes.
yeah. And I was like, have I been mispronouncing his name?
Sorry
It's
to
two different
interrupt you.
dudes. No, you're good. You're good. So I put Anakin, or I put 5s in one of
Fives in
them,
the arcs,
right?
yep.
And so now they've got the melee attack is with the
They're
pistols.
courage 3, so
Yeah,
good
with-
luck
Yeah, with
panicking
that,
them.
you can't panic them as easy. And then I put in stuff like cap cons because they're following Anakin. If you kill them, thanks, I get another attack. There's you can God, what else do I put on them? I don't even remember. Offensive push. So on one of his turns, when I went up against Luke with them, because I knew I had him coming and he didn't know at this point yet.
Right.
So
Arcs.
I pop offensive push, double move. So I had 3 aims, hitting him with 11 black dice, 3 aims. Right.
Yeah. Yep.
That doesn't suck.
No.
Even against
Yeah.
even against Luke, that doesn't suck.
No.
Yeah.
Did Luke have a dodge? Did he get block?
I can't remember. I think he might have.
Yeah,
Okay.
I think you did.
But
Does
like-
Luke have block?
He does.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he has
Yeah.
block.
Yeah, everybody gets it, but Kenobi. Don't even get me started on
Yeah.
that.
Yeah,
We'll get to that later.
But so yeah, it was a fun game. We had a good time. I lost. I still in my list. I'm like, God, I got to figure out a better, more efficient way to deal with the speeder problem.
Right.
And
But are you going to face that again?
I don't know. But you've got to at least, I think, when you're building a list, I think you have to take everything into account. You've got to be.
You can't skew anything now. Like if you're going to skew, you got to skew for range 2 to melee. If you're going to skew,
Yeah.
because you have to get to the points.
And vehicles can score now too, so you're gonna have to.
You
You're
have to
gonna
deal
see
with
more. Like think about Tempest Force right now.
Oh my God.
If you did
Scout two
three,
on every
three of
vehicle.
the what are they?
ATSDs? Those are the ATSDs.
If you did 3 of those, you still have enough troops now to have a workable army. Where
Well,
before that was like everything.
Well, and you can
now
take
that
scouts.
we're at 1,000 points, you got a whole
The
army.
scouts are
on-
what? Scout
around that.
2? Scout
Scout
3?
and then all
base?
the vehicles in Tempest Force. have
Yeah,
Scout.
so and Scout is by far the most important keyword to have now because it just gives you that extra move to get on the board before
Yeah.
you go.
I think you might hate me for this. I think it should cost more than 5 points.
I agree. Oh, it's going to go up.
I think so.
That's Rex is going to get hit with the nerf hammer on it because of his scouting party and everything, and it'll probably go to 10 points, 8 to 10 probably, and people
I
will
don't
still
know
take
that
it.
they will, because I think this is what they want. They want us in the center shooting each other on turn 1. Like, I think this is the game they're going for.
Okay, so I heard
And
somebody
it's
saying.
different and better this way. That's also why the arcs are better. They got that charge, they got that short range, and it's good from turn 1.
Did
They
they
already
drop
have
them?
scouts, so they
Right.
needed
Did
it.
they drop in price?
Shit, I don't know. Well, I didn't take them enough to remember.
Right. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
we
don't
would
know
just
what they
take
do.
strike teams, and I'm not sold on strike. They're way expensive.
Now, so I took 2. The idea behind my 2
Well, but
strike-
yours you took because you had 5-0 first, right?
Yeah, so I'm running 5-0 first.
And so you're kind of limited on the amount of core choices you can take.
Yeah.
Because you only can take 4 or 5. Or do you get the full 6? Like, I haven't used 5-0 first.
I think you
so.
can do 1 to 4 or something.
Yeah.
Right,
It's
it's
1
1
to
to
4,
4. So you can't, and you already are having.
So I've only got 2.
Oh, you only have 2. Oh, well.
Because I'm okay. I got 2 core, 2 special forces, or
4, technically.
yeah.
But when
4.
you have 4 arcs, do you really need 4?
Well, but the 2 strike teams, they're not.
they're well, and he marked them.
Yeah,
right?
yep,
So in the mark, so the
absolutely.
different one he marked them.
Right.
There's only 2, and he's got speeders who
Just we'll get to them.
ordinarily,
Yeah, I just
ordinarily
flew right at him. And
just
killed
flew
him.
right
Those
at
are
him and
just
killed
give
him.
me points.
Ordinarily at range,
Yeah.
at range 5, ordinarily they'd be safe at being marked.
Yep.
But with the speeders coming across the board, and no shit, speeders are they're in your grill.
Turn 1.
Yeah, right now.
They're always in your, because they're speed
Right.
3, 2,
Right.
compulsory.
But it's
Speed three from
armor
both.
3,
three.
cover 2, 7.
Yeah.
That's
It's cover 2 because I'm taking the guy who gives
The
you-
pilot that
Yeah,
gives you
yeah,
that cover.
yeah.
Okay.
so that's
I saw
So-
you look up.
Heavy. I was just like, wait, I thought there was
Cover-
only
yeah,
1,
yeah,
but
it's
maybe
cover 1, but I got the heavy.
The pilot,
hot shot pilot. Is that
whatever
it?
it is.
That gives you the
It's
cover
like
1.
speeder jockey or something.
Yeah.
I think.
But that gives them
I don't
cover
know one of those
2.
guys.
I don't play them, so I'll go with yes, that.
what were you running last night?
I brought the Vader. I used Force Choke. I didn't bring Force Push. I'm I'm undecided whether I want to use Force Push now.
40
'Cause
points.
It's 40 points.
I don't think it's worth it.
I don't either.
And I'm happy to see it gone.
Well, okay.
But
I'm using it. Okay.
Maybe one. Like, if you take 2 Jedi, it's not on both of them.
No.
No.
At all.
No. So, okay, on my Anakin build, I've got it on him. Against you, and against Josh, on his 1 pip turn, when he gets to 2 attacks, it's amazing.
Oh, right. Yeah.
Right, because okay, one of the things that happens with Jedi is you can get bogged down, especially with 10-man units.
Especially now with 10-man.
Yeah,
units.
so if you run into a 10-man unit and you attack it, well, you're not going to kill them all. So if you're going to make your second attack, well, you still might not kill them all, right?
Yep.
However, if you've got this huge 10-man unit that's 100-plus points that's out there, and I jump in and I take 6 of them, okay, force push them away, go into another unit and take 6 of them, now it's easier for my other units to deal with.
How does Anakin have 6 attacks? Oh, wait, tenacity.
Tenacity,
Never
right?
mind.
Because I think
That's
you always put tenacity on.
Yeah.
Although I've considered pulling it because some of his other cards, right? So yeah, I don't know. I've got it on him, but I'm considering pulling it off.
Which saves you 40 points.
Which, well, it won't save me 40.
Well, it gives you 40 points to, you can get another force power for 10,
right,
and then have 30
right.
points
Just to throw that dodge on him all the time. So to make him a little bit more defensive. But the way I've been using him so in your face and, hopping around and doing all that, I think Force Push works for it. But I would love to have those 30 extra points to do some other stuff.
So, okay.
Go ahead, kid.
I had Burst of Speed and then Lightsaber Throw, which I think is useful on Vader, especially now with cover. A lot of your lightsaber throw is going to get through cover most likely.
Yeah.
And so then I
Unless
have
they can
Force
roll white dice.
Yeah.
So then I have Force Choke instead of Force Push, and Force Choke I think is useful a lot more now, because then it's if you're going to be up there and there's these big 10-man squads, you can just start picking away at them. Then with Vader, if you do his 1 pip, you can do it twice.
Mm-hmm.
So,
Yeah.
But then the other thing with melee guys that I think is kind of in a weird spot is just withdrawal stuff, how that works now. And so even if you go into someone, you're not entirely safe now.
Right. Because you can withdraw and then move again. You can't, if you withdraw, you can't attack and you cannot take a standby.
Right.
Those are your only restrictions. But you can do your speed 1 move, withdraw, then do your full speed move someplace else. Then you can take a dodge. If you're clones, you can take an aim to feed your buddies. So you're not stuck.
Because then a lot of what I like to do with Force Push was go into melee, and then if I kill someone, then I Force Push someone else.
Sure.
So then I'm
Bubble
safe.
wrap yourself.
Yeah.
Yep.
But then that's not viable anymore, because then they can just
But
withdraw, move away.
They could have always withdrawn. So that's why you want to force push the guys that have already activated
Yeah.
to bubble wrap you.
But it's not as viable now. And
Correct.
I don't know if it's worth 40 points for me.
I think it'll
Right
come
now, it's
down
just-
when they do their next adjustment. They'll see, okay, we might have overcorrected. We'll make it 25 or 30 or something like that. I mean, it needs to be more than 10, because 10 you were just, why wouldn't you take it? But now though, with how objectives are scored, all right, you got to be within half range of it. You don't have to be just touching. You got to be within half range.
But you can force pull somebody off.
You can still force push somebody or force pull somebody off.
Yeah, push them.
But there's also on some of the things, there's so many more objectives, and that's only going to be maybe a victory point
Right.
of the 12 you need. And is that going to overall matter? It could. I mean, it could give you the victory point that makes you win.
Stopped, it was 8-6. We weren't. I mean,
It wasn't a blowout yet.
no, it wasn't one yet. So I mean, 1
Right.
point.
So 1 point can affect that.
Yeah.
Not saying it's not, but
I don't know. I'm still weighing that I may drop it and see how it goes for a couple of games and use that for something else. I'm also considering.
and then Kale, you also had something I haven't seen
Before
in
we
a
move
while.
on for that, though, an interesting thing, I know you probably won't like it because it would add another dice roll, but I think Force Push, if you do a dice roll,
That's fair.
to,
That's fair.
because then it's not guaranteed that you're going to do it every time.
Well,
So-
it's not guaranteed. You have Inquisitors. It's
But-
not guaranteed.
And that's what I was going to say, because then
Fucking Jedi training. or
my
whatever
next
it is.
units I used, I had Vader, and then I had both Inquisitors. Usually, lately, at the tournaments I've gone to, I've just been doing the sister by herself, because I think she's so much better than the brother. But,
Fight him in the comments.
well, now that we have all these extra points, I was like, I can just throw them in, and it's fine. And so I had an interesting strategy that I was going to do, but I didn't end up doing it. So she had tenacity, burst of speed, because I didn't want to have force push on them, because that's way too much points for them.
Right.
Yes.
And so then the Inquisitorious training, which he doesn't like, it sounds like.
Oh, I just think, you can just shut down all of your fucking Inquisitors. You're gonna shut down Yoda? Like, did they shut down Ahsoka in the shows? Absolutely not at all. She handed.
Does it have to be just like the shows?
It's just the fact that it's always on, and you don't have to worry about it, and it's just, oh no, you don't get to do this. I still have to tap it. If I didn't have to tap it, if you stopped it, I would be fine with it. But it's the fact that, now I have to tap it, and I don't get to use it, but whatever. And it's like 5 points, or whatever it is.
And he gives it demoralized, which I always forget to do. So.
Oh, and that can be big though.
Yeah, it could.
For the secondary objective.
And
Anyways, but so
the other thing she likes that I really like playing around with is interrogate. So if you're in range 1 of someone, it increases a pip value. So if they play like a 1 pip, but it would count as a 2 pip.
right. Han doesn't necessarily go first then, because his 0 pip goes to 1.
And I had an interesting thing I want to talk about that I did with that at one of the tournaments, the one that Chris was at, the 8-person one. But
That they didn't play each other.
We didn't play.
They did not play.
But we were both top 8.
So I had the situation was I had a dewback, which I'll get to dewbacks later,
Yeah.
and my Inquisitor, they were engaged with Vader. Vader played his 1 pip. I played a 2 pip, which was the pin down one. So if you attack someone with face of order, it goes back to their pool. And so then with interrogate, it made his 1 pip go up to a 2 pip. We did the dice roll. I won it. And so then I went first with my dewback. He attacked Vader, and then it made his order pool go back into his thing. And so then he didn't get Vader until later, because then I just kept attacking him. It was just fun. I like doing stuff like that.
I have no problem with that. I think that's a very cool card effect that you can do once, and then it's done.
Yeah, I always forget about Han's card because you did it to me in my 1 pip turn.
Sorry about the mess.
Yeah, sorry about the mess. Yeah. I
0
forgot
pip.
about
Oh, I go first.
it. Well, no, not that was the 3 that makes you put the
The,
card back. Yeah.
Oh, change of plans.
Change of plans.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, change of plans.
Oh,
Now,
that card.
yeah, lucky for me though, with the 501st, I've got 3 1 pips.
You
So-
do.
Right, so he still had one to do.
Yeah.
That, which is another thing about the new rules. Something like Han's card where, like, what's that card called?
Reckless diversion.
No, the one we just mentioned.
Change of plans.
Change of plans. When you discard it, since now we have 6 cards and only 5 turns, that discard does not hurt you at all.
Well, and there's also the Chewy card that if you really want it back.
Right, but like any card that you have to discard or something like that, it's no longer a problem. 'Cause
I don't
you have
see
1 extra card.
Anybody playing standing orders unless their commanders are dead and they're all commander
Well,
cards.
when we
did-
killed all our after
Right.
turn
We did.
3,
I mean,
we were just
yeah,
playing
after
standing
turn
orders.
I was able to get 1 more off because I had 501st cards.
Yeah, you
But
had 1 generic one,
Yeah,
and then like
501st
after that, it was all standing orders.
Yeah,
all
because
our
I had
commanders
Rex,
were dead.
so but even still, yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm curious then if they're gonna keep it where you have 7 cards, or if it's gonna go down. Because
No.
I kind of like it where
They're going to keep it, I think, because they otherwise, I feel they would have changed that already.
Yeah.
They would have been like, oh no, your hand now is you get 1 pip, 2 pips, 2 3 pips, and a 4 pip, or something. Like I think they would have already done that.
and we can talk about this later, but I don't.
No, talk about
We're
it
talking
now.
now.
Well, for Vader's 3
It's our
pip.
video. We can talk
The-
about anything we want.
We can edit it around.
Yeah.
I was gonna talk about like deployment. And
No,
stuff.
that's all right.
But with Vader's 3 pip, the one that gives
Infiltrate.
infiltrate
Mhm.
or like
Reliable
you get
too?
I don't think you want to play that first turn
No.
anymore now
Nope.
because
You only give 1 order.
order control
Is
in your-
huge
is
on turn 1.
important.
Yeah,
Really
deployment is
important.
big. Yeah, absolutely.
Like Palpatine's entire legion
That'll be
and
great.
Yoda's luminous beings. Everybody gets an order. Now I get to pick when my guys come on in the order I want them to come on.
Right.
So then I think it's interesting with cards like that where it's like, oh, normally I would just play that one first.
Right.
Now it's like you probably don't want to play it first, and then who knows if you're gonna end up playing it like at
At
all?
all. Yep.
Because I didn't play it at all. I did other
Well,
cards.
For Liam in his game, I didn't even put that one in. I was just like, this isn't good. I'm like, it's only 1 order. Yeah, it gives him reliable 2. I'm like, I want Master of Evil and I want Annihilation Looms
And
because I had Krennic. So it's just like, I want all the suppression. So it's like, all right, well, we don't get Darkness Descends. And Infiltrate on Vader would be cool because now he's deploying 9 inches up and then gets his 2 actions, so he's not speed 1 moving from the end of the board. But even then, like, Liam got him in turn 2, he was in the middle where he needed to be. So that's, again, all of the objectives are to the middle, and your opponent can't just sit back and shoot you. Like, they're going to not score objectives then on turn 2 if they just sit back and shoot you. And they probably can't do enough wounds to knock you off the objectives to where then now you're going to be down.
Which I really like that about the new games. There's no more playing for a tie, and like,
Right.
I'm going to hide behind stuff.
We're going to sit here for 4 or 5 turns until, our
Right.
timer's almost up. Now this is the turn we got to go. And then dive on for key positions or intercept or whatever. I still just don't like that we don't really get to pick where the objectives go. Like, I get that that's cool because now they're forced in the middle. But, like, I also kind of like that player agency that
Which
I get to pick
I
where they
think
go.
my theory is I think that might change when the new terrain comes out. I think there are going to be more objectives than that. That's my hope,
Right.
at least.
Right.
So I hope that has some more dynamic ones because I agree.
Because, like, you could still do, like, you could still have this and have hostage or payload or what. Like, yeah, it's going to be a bigger point of interest now. All right, that's fine. It's a 2-inch thing instead
But
of
then
whatever it is.
That's why I
but-
think the secondary objectives play an interesting
Oh my God,
role
I
because
love
then
that.
it's you don't have to go for the main one if you
Right.
don't want to. You can go for the secondary one.
Or your secondary one could suck and you're never going to get it. I mean,
Yeah, or I don't have to get all of my primaries. I can keep up with the secondary, depending on how your army is built.
Yep.
Right.
If my army is built to give out suppression, and I get this, well, I'm gonna
Right.
lean on the secondary and
that
get as many-
suppression one is going to be on probably every Empire's list because they have
well,
all the
because
suppressors.
they have the ability to do that,
Right.
which is why that 501st card with the Indomitable
Is
with me. It's
awesome.
Well, then also if you just have a big squad too, then they have
Indomitable.
Indomitable too.
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
also.
I mean, you're paying for it.
yeah.
Yeah.
But so that's like another thing that could be you could see people big.
There were
big
snowtroopers that were
squads.
indomitable with a flamethrower that did 3 wounds to a clone squad because he didn't have an aim. He rolled all the dice and there was only 3 hits.
Yeah.
And I was like, but then like he shoots with Boba Fett and gets like 5 crits. So it's like, well, okay, and he then wiped the squad out. So I was like, well, that's how that goes sometimes.
Just to verify, the 10-man squad's getting Indomitable.
Mhm.
They keep that the whole time.
Yes.
Like, they don't
It's-
lose
it's
it
on
when they
No,
drop
no,
it.
no, it's they gain indomitable.
That's how me and Jeff were doing it,
Yeah.
too. I just wasn't sure yet.
Yep. Yeah, and like, yeah.
But I'm still not. I don't fully know if I want to have more activations or if you want the bigger squads. I haven't
I
played enough games to determine that.
I've seen or I've looked a little bit, and I think
I
it's
don't think
still
you're
out.
ever going to take more than 2.
I think that
Well, I played Jeff.
Yeah.
So
we've got a player, right? He's not here. I don't know. Is he out of town?
He's out of town.
He's out of town. Anyway, and we should have brought Ugly Josh too because he's got for
yeah.
droids.
Oh yeah.
Because I got to play that.
He's
list.
got
Anyway,
the 9 saber list,
Yeah.
and now it's 200 more points, so it's like
Yeah.
8 to 10 activations.
so
now.
Jeff loves stormtroopers.
oh
That's
my god,
it.
his fucking
That's
cat.
it.
That's all he wants.
He
That's all
takes
he wants to do.
stormtroopers
Yeah.
and 3 E-webs and
Yeah.
Veers. That
Yeah.
was his list.
That was
That's
his list. But
That's
it was 60 stormtroopers there. And I took out 1 squad and the E-webs. And like a handful of others mixed in there. But 60 stormtroopers, it's really hard to put a dent in that.
Yeah.
Because they're all
Red saves are still the best thing in the game. I don't care what anyone said.
Yep.
Red saves are really good. And like,
I was making my red saves on those ATRTs
Yep.
last night.
Oh my god, I love the ATRTS
Yeah.
red save.
yeah, that, like I charged, we both had ATRT.
Right.
And I charged his with mine. I'm like, let's
And-
make it a hand-to-hand fight,
And
right?
yours has scout now?
Yeah,
Somebody
mine
say
does
that?
now.
So-
Yeah. Scout surge crit still. Yeah.
Yeah.
White saves, which
Like surging saves.
Yeah.
yeah.
White save's not as good as red saves.
Yeah.
So after charging him, I immediately left that.
Yeah.
That wasn't gonna work. But yeah, the 60 stormtroopers on the board is intimidating. You can't do anything. It looks like the scene in Return of the Jedi where they got all the stormtroopers
Well, no,
there.
Which is pretty
you
cool.
can also do that and add Vader. Like
Yeah,
there's enough
you
points
probably-
that you can
yeah,
put Commander Vader
I
on.
was saying that to him too.
So then you don't care about suppression at all because Vader doesn't care about suppression. And if you're suppressed, Vader has compelled core. Go ahead and take your move, and then you can shoot after you've moved.
Yeah.
But how Jeff plays, he doesn't move. He just sits there and just shoots.
which was the mistake. I did win that game, but because he
He castled.
got too happy standing there aiming and shooting, which he did take out all my vehicles, but like he didn't get objectives.
Yeah,
Which-
it's still an objective game.
It's definitely an objective game.
Yeah, and so I think big squads, I don't think you want to, I mean, it's effective, but on some of those 6-unit or a 6-piece plus the objectives, I don't
You don't
know.
have enough.
It's
then
less scoring units.
Yeah, it's less scoring units. Once you get there, it's harder to hell to get you off. But if it's just contest, yeah, I mean, it could be made work, I suppose.
Like,
Right.
I want to run a big clone squad with 5s and the shotgun because now the clone squad has charge, with 5 has it.
Yeah.
The shotgun is melee to range 2. That's 2 red with pierce 1. So now you're throwing 13 black dice. No, 12 black dice, 2 red dice with pierce 1. Like, that
pretty
just
cool.
seems like that could be cool. And like, oh, I've got tokens I can share. And because you get a range 1 because it's the big squad, that means you're probably going to be able to share tokens with whoever you need to share tokens with to get an aim after you've moved in.
He keeps talking, trying to talk me to.
Yeah. Well, like I can't make it work in my Wookiee one because it's too many points, and I don't have that many points left. I have to like drop a whole Wookiee squad, and I don't think that is worth dropping a whole Wookiee
So
squad.
what are you
for.
playing? What are you playing?
So I am currently running. It's pretty much my same Rex and the Walking Carpet that I've been playing for the last 2 years. So it's Rex, Chewie, 3 clone infantry squads. No, they were phase 1s. Now they're whatever the clone infantry is. And it is then 3 Wookiees. And the Wookiees are all bowcaster Wookiees. 2 of them do not have recon intel. I wonder why. Oh, scouting party with Rex is amazing. The other one has recon intel. Both the shotgun squads. So I have 2 shotgun squads with a specialist. And then I have 1 RPS squad to help with impact. The bowcasters help with impact. And Chewie was there to guardian Rex. But now we have backup. And so I don't know how important it is, and I'm toying with maybe dropping Chewie and grabbing in Cody. And then with this extra 200 points I had, I pretty much just added in originally 2 commando squads with HQ uplink. And now I'm trying out 2 Flamer ATRGs because, again, I just want to get across the board. My list is about getting to range 2 and less, and having Flamers that work in melee seems like a really cool, fun thing.
It is. I gotta
Especially
admit,
with
dude,
Surge Hit.
I gotta admit, flaming a full squad and rolling 20 dice at once.
Dude, like, I
It's
can't
a
wait
kick.
to fight a B1 or an Ewok squad where you're chucking like 20 some odd dice at them and be like, all right.
It is kind of fun. I mean,
Like-
yeah.
Well,
Do
then
you
that.
have 20 dice?
We got more dice last night, so maybe.
Yeah, Dave, I told Dave with the new rules, you might want to put more dice in the wall.
There's only
right?
1 pack left at the store
Yeah.
when I bought mine, so.
You might want to put some more dice up there.
Well,
Yeah.
then that's my other thing with the big squad too. I think you're gonna see everyone using flamethrowers, personally, or there's gonna be a lot more people. using
Well,
it.
okay.
So then it's if you have like a 10-man squad and you go against a flamethrower, they're gonna be throwing a bunch of dice at you. That might not be good for you.
Right?
And I like using the dewback, and so that has a black and a white blast, spray, or whatever. And
Spray.
so
That's a lot of dice.
I want to go against a 14-man B1 squad where I'm throwing 28 dice at someone. Surge to hit. I want to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, okay. Against, I got you. I deleted a squad of your rebels
Yeah.
with a dodge or 2.
I think
Well, you can only dodge
lived.
one.
Yeah.
One guy lived.
Yeah,
Like,
but I got another one because he came up to range 1.
yeah.
Yeah, and I deleted that squad because you got 2 dodges. When you had one, you moved up, got 2 dodges, and because you were range 1. And as soon as they went, I'm just going to aim and shoot, you were like, I don't think that was a very good idea on my part.
Well, but now though, the ATRT has to worry about the impact grenades that can be used in like you can't
Yeah.
go into melee with the unit and be like, you can't throw your grenade
Yeah,
now.
no, not now. Right.
Well,
And now it's impact 4,
Yeah.
and it's just only one guy gets it, but then everybody else is just throwing the regular dice.
Right.
See, I didn't put the impact grenades on, and they did good. Like my troops did a lot of work on that game. 'Cause
Yeah.
They like
Nimble,
they got
agile
fragmentation
is-
grenades, which gives them surge crit,
Oh.
and then they got the SX-21, whatever it is, 2 red, 2 white, and an impact 1.
Yep.
That's
Well,
a
okay.
lot of dice coming from a 6-man squad.
Was that the Rebel Troopers?
Yeah.
Did you try taking the ion gun? Like
I
am sorry,
this
the
gun
ion gun
only
is good now.
13 points.
Right. The ion gun is good now because one, it's critical 1. It does ion, which ion may or may not be, but its dice pool is better, and it's going to give you crit 1. So like, and it's still range 3, and it doesn't tap anymore.
Which that was my biggest problem with the
Right,
Snowtrooper.
because the
one.
Snowtrooper one
Tap.
got to say all of the ion guns don't tap anymore, which is great. I thought maybe give them cycle. Like when cycle came out, I was like, why don't all the ion guns get changed to cycle? So it's you can at least shoot it every other
Right.
turn and
Now-
not take an action.
But now with like the 5 turns though, you might just shoot once. And you might not even get to another chance where you have to shoot it
where you
twice.
tap.
Yeah.
You tap something.
Wait, no, so I love that. I mean,
Yeah.
originally when they came out with
Yeah.
cycle.
I mean, it's like now, so
Now
like,
it's-
if something does tap, it's like
Same like HQ uplink, same thing. Where like
Well, and the only reason why I put the HQ uplink on the commandos was because then I tap it, give them an order, they get an aim. I can then recover, get back their gun because their gun taps to shoot, get
Right.
back the HQ uplink, and if their shield's been used, they get back their shield. And
Right.
so then they're like they're order neutral. I don't have to worry about giving them orders because they're just giving themselves orders every turn.
Right.
But when Anakin gets into them on his 1 pip turn and kills one and then jumps into the other one and kills them, like I was like, yeah, melee's not good for those guys, is it? All right, let's try this ATRT because we couldn't do that.
One time. Anakin's not broken. He's not broken.
He might be undercosted, but he's not broken. I think Anakin's
he
great.
was a fair unit. I don't
Yeah.
think he was. He was dangerous. I had to be respectful of him.
But he's
But he
supposed to
was,
be.
yeah,
Right.
he should be.
Yeah.
He felt
Like my
he felt
list.
as dangerous as Anakin would be.
Right.
My list doesn't really care about Anakin usually because I've got enough melee guys. I'll be like, well, he can't get away from all of me until he just does his jump 2 free move on this 1 pip, and yeah.
And then going back to the big squads though, like say you go in with like a 10-man squad with like Anakin or something, but you don't really kill anyone. They can just punch you back, and
And it's 10
Potentially
black
kill
dice
you.
usually, unless you're
Yeah.
stormtroopers.
Oh yeah.
so like that's something you have to worry about now too
Absolutely.
with Force users.
Absolutely. With
Or just
5s,
melee
if
guys.
you were to make that 5s as
Right.
big squad,
Oh yeah.
that's a lot of dice.
Oh, you knock off 5, even if all 5 hit, because let's say I haven't wounded Anakin yet. You kill 5 of the 10. Well, I still have the 3 dice from 5s. I've got the 2 dice from the shotgun, and then 3 more black. So that's 6 black, 2 red. I'm like, and it's only 5 guys. But like,
Right.
I'm rolling 8
well,
dice.
just like the Yarks, but they've got 2 attacks per. But just
Right.
like the Yarks, when I hit you with 5s, that's a
It's a tough hit. Yeah.
it's a tough hit.
Or even if you just throw them into a infantry squad, whatever they're called now, and give them charge, they can just go ahead and do that.
Yeah.
Or like
Mhm.
what you were saying earlier with the shotgun guy. Like
Yeah.
That's
like the
great.
shotgun being melee, I'm like, oh, maybe I need to try and fit 5s into this list now.
Yeah.
So
So
then
then,
if I put 5s in the list, I should probably get a clone commander so he can always just direct the 5s, and then 5s can always coordinate. But that's like, oh, I don't get Chewie. But I have backup, so I don't know if I need Chewie. And I can always put esteemed leader,
okay,
which then gives Guardian out to the squads around if I need Guardian as well as backup.
so I've got improvised orders on Rex.
Yep.
Because I'm running 501st Rex Anakin, and I got improvised orders. I was thinking about going to Steam Leader because I think I want Rex up all
Close.
the time,
Yep.
close all the time, right? And then that you then have the Guardian ability.
Guardian 2 for you because you have 2 core.
Yeah, Guardian 2. And then you've also got the block, right?
The backup.
The backup.
Yep.
You've also got backup.
As
right?
long as they're not suppressed. Which, oh, hey, our core has 2, so you got to put 2 suppression on them to get them suppressed.
Yeah, and then if you run that 3 pip first, then they've got Indomitable, so it makes it even harder to get them, or to keep them
To
suppressed.
keep them suppressed.
But I was thinking about going that instead of improvised, but I do like being able to, play the
Have that,
improvised.
yeah.
Just
Be
in
like,
case.
oh, I don't want this order token right now.
But I did take, and it worked with me against you when you played that card, because I had to put that Anakin's 1 pip away. Then I played Rex's 1 pip.
Right.
But on Anakin, I've got the one where he can give himself an order.
Seize the initiative.
Seize the initiative on it in case something like that happens. You throw an order
So
down
he
on him.
still had that order.
I still got the order, and it's still a 1 pip.
Yep.
So it's still
Because
kinda,
Anakin is no longer flawed. So you can't make it to where you can't issue Anakin orders
yeah.
anymore.
So I
You
mean,
always can have an order.
I think that works. Maybe if I pull improvised.
Unless the sister's at range 1 of Anakin.
Yeah, but I got something for that. I got something for that.
Why would the sisters stop?
Interrogate it would make it go to a 2-bit.
Oh, but he would still get the order.
Yeah, I'm just
yeah.
saying, it's no guarantee you're gonna go.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's fine. I got something for the sisters.
She could die pretty easy.
Yeah. Yeah. But it was, what do you have? What was Josh running? What's her name?
Asajj?
Asajj. So he pulled Asajj up. I've got jump on my ARC troopers.
Okay, this is Darren and
Ugly
Josh's
Josh.
first game
Yeah, our first game
of
right?
second edition.
Second edition, and he had not experienced
Or the new game, whatever you want to call
Yeah,
it.
second edition. So Asajj was on the other side of the hill, and he of course thought she was safe, and I jump over the side, give myself offensive push, and then go. So it's 3 attacks or 3 aims, 11
The exact
dice.
same thing he
Yeah,
did.
and he did it, on Asajj, and she didn't work out. She didn't. Yeah, there were no. Yeah.
Now Josh knows.
Yeah. Now Josh knows. Now he's got 9 freaking lightsabers in his list.
Yeah.
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 Bring that shit over here.
Because they'll still the arcs will still die to lightsabers. Yeah, they're impervious, so you're gonna roll a couple extra dice. But like,
I was so surprised last night. I was actually making red saves, like a lot of them.
Yes, you were.
Yeah. like
What?
like normal people do, actually a little bit better with that ATRT. Yeah. I was like, because usually I'm used to just picking them up. The reason I would play ISPs is because they have white saves with the ISPs. I like the range, I like it. But sometimes I save better with the ISPs than I would on red
oh,
dice.
dude, that's why I love the Wookiees.
Yeah.
It's just like, oh, you have Pierce? You're not going to use it. Oh, I didn't save anything.
Yeah.
You get to use Pierce.
Yeah, go ahead. Yeah, kiss my Pierce.
I mean, cover. Wookiees love cover because not only they get double the chance, and if it's heavy cover, it's a better save on the hits.
Yeah.
So,
I feel like Chris always has good white saves when I go.
I can
Yeah.
do pretty good, it seems like.
Yeah.
sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Fuck
Yeah.
on. Yeah.
yeah.
So are
Unless-
you clone players thinking about taking out the RPSs at all with the new rules? Because like, turn 1,
They have to move.
they have
so
to
they can't
move,
shoot.
so you can't shoot that
'Cause
RPS,
it's
so you
cumbersome.
lose
Yeah,
that.
it's
Yeah.
cumbersome.
Are you thinking about that at
Nope.
all?
There's too much armor still.
I think with as much armor as there is, I don't think I can. If there is a way to get a commander or something to put on them to get them the
Prepared positions.
prepared positions.
If you weren't required to hopefully get it in your advantage deck.
yeah. I
Maybe.
think a couple of those in a unit with prepared positions. I think then you take them for sure. But without the because they took away that critical the sniper gun.
The
now.
DC-15.
Yeah, because
Don't
it
even get me
took-
started with that either.
Because they took away the DC-15 from us. Because if you pull those, you can put the DC-15 in it and at least get something when you move.
Right. It's a
Right.
crit gun, so hey,
Yeah.
maybe you'll get
Yeah.
the crit to get the against the armor.
Yeah, but with armor, I think you have to have the RPSs, or because you can go with Barks with RPSs.
You know, that's eating in your support. That means no
No
ATRTs.
flamers. Yeah, no ATRTs, right?
But you don't necessarily need impact as bad now as you did before, because if you get enough dice hits,
Well, you
going
have to have
in-
Yeah,
enough
like
dice.
my
Yeah.
ATRT, like Armor 2, how much did that really matter? You know what I mean? Like,
It's heavy cover all the
it's
time.
heavy,
now.
it's essentially like heavy cover.
Yeah.
On a
And-
vehicle that can't get cover. So
Right.
that's really all
Right.
it's
Yeah.
given me.
And I didn't shoot at them though because I was shooting at your freaking speeders, which is
Right.
a mistake on my part. But if you don't shoot your speeders down,
The
They're gonna
speeders
be-
would have messed you up a lot more than the ATRTs
Yeah.
because you didn't have big squads.
right?
That's one thing with the Flamer too. When you don't have a 10-man squad, it's not that great.
It's,
Well,
I
okay.
mean, I did some damage with them, but I was
Yeah,
hitting
your
what
ATRT.
3-man squads,
Yeah.
and getting 6.
yeah.
Your
You know?
ATRT. But our ATRT's innate gun is a black 2 white crit 1 impact 1 gun,
Yeah,
which isn't necessarily horrible.
Right.
Like if it's
And I
two
did
guys
shoot at you
or
with
one
that a
guy.
couple
yeah,
times.
that
Yeah.
worked good.
and that's why I like the dewback, because then you can use melee though, instead of using the flamethrower.
Well, the flamethrower you can use in melee.
Yeah, but if it's like a single guy.
Oh, if it's a single
or
two
yeah,
guys,
yeah.
Yeah, because your melee is like
3 red,
Amazing.
3
Yeah.
white, suppressive, critical 2 or something.
The
Yeah,
ATRT
yeah.
had a good. I mean, that's how I wrapped up some of your squads. Is
Yeah.
once they were down to like one guy instead of the Flamer, I was charging him and doing 3 red guys.
I think you still need the impact because there's still going to be the buses. You're going to see vehicles now, and and since they can contest, you have to be able to deal with them.
Yeah,
I don't
I
think
think
it's-
you still need the
I don't think
impact.
it's-
I just don't know if that's the way to get it. I almost wonder if you should have laser guns or laser cannons on the
So put
ATRT
the lasers
or
on the ATRTs instead, or bars.
Well, which is not because they will probably be able to use the 3 impact because vehicles don't get cover. So you're not worried about I don't get to use because before with the ATRT it was 3 dice, and if they've got cover it eats 1 or 2 of the hits, so then it's never going to get 3. Clones got around that because they would just fire support in with the ATRT and get enough to where you're going to use all of your impact. Well, now we can't fire support, so...
Well, we can, but it's not.
No. We can pay 30 points to get fire support on a unit, and that just gives them a standby.
Right.
Like, I don't... Whatever. It is what it is.
Do you get that standby every time, or just when you
Every
get
time
an
you
order?
give an order.
Every time
they're
you get
issued
an order, they
you
get
a
the standby?
Yep.
Okay.
So I think that's kind of useful on like the mortar and then like the Mark II, where it's
Yeah.
like, oh, you're going to be coordinating to them anyways.
Right,
So
and
it's-
they've got range 3
yeah, so it's,
sentinel range for standby.
yeah, so that's useful. But then like on the clone trooper, it's like
Oh, you have to give them the Overwatch upgrade, which is more points you're dumping in to the only now 6, maybe 6-man squad if you put a heavy in there. Maybe 7 if you put a leader, but you're already putting a 30-point upgrade to get the fire support. Now you're going to add in another 20-point leader and then a 20-some-odd point head. Like, I don't.
so you-
Fire support is no longer in the wheelhouse of the clones.
My theory, though, I think they're going to add a unit that has the old fire support. It's going to be like new keyword, but it works like that.
Maybe that's
So
what
that
we're
could be
doing with the marksman.
That's what the marksman can do.
Yeah,
Maybe.
Troopers,
something like that.
I think that's
Dude, okay, now this is going to be... I don't want to be the guy that gets shit nerfed before it's out, but if you're going to allow me to have a Jedi attachment as my squad leader in an ARC squad that has in
Anakin?
charge...
Or Ahsoka?
No,
No, like
the
the-
Jedi attachments
the
that are in
Jedi.
the ARCs.
Yeah. Okay.
Which, don't even get me started, like, I hope the Padawan Ahsoka is a squad upgrade. That's my thing, because they said, hey, we wouldn't be able to do snips, the Padawan Ahsoka, because there wasn't an option for it in the game before. Well, what they just released, the squad leader thing, so that's what I think it's going to be. Whether
I
it is
think
or
it's
not.
going to be a detachment.
But they've had
Anakin.
detachment. Detachment was already in the game before.
Not quite how we're doing it now, though. Like,
Right.
able to be like a third HQ. Or
Right,
something like that.
or a third operative,
Right.
Like how Cassie and K2 are. Since he's a
Right.
detachment, it's so. But regardless, like
It could
I'm
be-
still stoked about
it
steps.
could be something like associative with the brother and the sister.
Oh yeah.
Because
Yeah.
then if you have both of them, then you can take another operative. I think it'll be something like that.
Oh yeah, that's what detachment does.
Yeah.
Detachment you don't
But
count
then
towards the max.
I think
now.
that's though then what you're talking about, how it wasn't in the game.
But
yet. 'Cause then,
regardless,
I just think that's what it.
they
would've-
said the Jedi attachments are going to be able to be taken as upgrades in ARCs and the ARFs. Well, if you're giving me a lightsaber, even if it's a shitty lightsaber, it's still going to be Pierce 1, and it's going to be at least probably 2 to 3 dice. You're going to give that to me to my ARC squad that has charge and jump? Like, yes, please.
Man, how are they going to
Got a semi.
equivalent that to the other armies? I mean, like, they're not
They're
going to...
not. Because there's no squad leader upgrade.
God.
That's our new identity, okay? Don't fucking take that from us.
Clones
take
have
Exemplar?
always been overpowered.
Oh my god.
Always overpowered.
Bullshit.
In every edition, they are
When
always
we first came out and all we had was
Wow,
Kenobi.
we don't got
Bart.
snips. Wow.
I think
You guys had so many Jedi. I got Luke. And that was it. And then I
Right,
finally
and
get
then you
a
got
second
operative
one,
Luke.
and everyone just whines and whines.
I wasn't whining that you got it. I was whining we didn't get it with you.
I think the clone identity is just the clone players complain about everything.
Wow,
did you
God. Damn.
hiding him here.
We helped you change a tire in the fucking parking on goddamn driveway. Dude shows up, we help him change a tire. He's giving me shit. I gave him water. We gave him watermelon. I don't think I'm ever going to invite you again. No, this is kind of fun. You can come again. You got to change your own fucking tire, though.
But dear,
It'll be Chris's tired.
yeah. like no, because again, what the Republic's identity was is gone. It's only now clones have exemplar, in essence.
Yeah, but that
Which is fine.
range token sharing, everyone has exemplar.
Yeah.
Right.
Every one of your models do.
No.
So it's except for
Anakin,
except for
Padme,
Anakin and Padme.
R2, Kenobi, Yoda, all my Wookiees that I take,
Wow.
they don't have it. Yeah.
Well, they're not.
My army doesn't
They're
have it
not
anymore.
clones.
Well, I think
they're
Rex and
Wookiees.
Cody will have it, but they haven't redone their card
Right.
yet. so-
Well, okay.
Right.
Rex needs to get direct core trooper. Like, I'm sorry, if a clone commander has it and Cody gets direct vehicle, and you have to increase his points, I'm fine with that. Especially since I'm assuming his points are going to go up now because he has Scouting Party 2, and Scout is
Yes. Clones need
insane.
another unit with direct. Rebels have none.
What did you direct?
Empire have none.
They have one.
Yeah, they have.
Marquard, but
Yeah, Marquard has
okay,
direct.
yeah.
But I agree. Empire should have some more direct.
I mean, why doesn't a rebel officer have direct?
Because you have Exemplar. That's why.
But the rebel officer just kind of sucks, though. Like, why would you really want to
Just
use
take Leia. Like seriously.
Yeah, but
If you're gonna take the rebel
I've
officer,
always taken
he's
Leia.
take-
yeah. But I mean,
that's
if you
good.
compare the rebel officer to every other officer, he's definitely the weakest.
For sure.
yes. Yeah. Yo.
Agreed.
Yes. Agreed.
Yeah. Agreed.
So
But he's also the cheapest.
is he?
I don't know. I think him and Becky are the same.
Are they?
She's like
I
50
think-
points.
I think he's
Okay.
45
Because I thought he was.
maybe.
But she has electro binoculars, so like
Yeah.
he has bolster.
You
right?
can always use an aim.
He
You don't
is-
always get to use a dot.
He is 50 points now. He has Take Cover 1, Exemplar, and Inspire 1.
And speaking of those stuff, I like how everything's range 2 instead of range 1 for like
Yes.
take cover and
Yeah.
aim. The aim one.
And-
I like that.
I love the fact Inspire is now at the end of the unit's
I'm
activation.
still gonna
So you
forget
can
him.
move.
So
and
you
hit
can
it.
move to get in range of your guys you need to inspire. Not be like, oh shit, I'm not where I need to be. Nope, it's fine. Leia can double move or move and take cover or whatever.
Yeah.
And,
I
and then
always
inspire
forget
off.
to do it anyways.
Though-
Before, and I'm sure I'll still forget.
Well, like, how often do you have to worry about that if you're running Vader? I mean,
Well, if you have like beers,
That's
he's
true.
like the only one that has it.
I think
Normally.
Becky has it, doesn't she?
I guess she does.
I
Yeah,
I think she
Yeah, I
had
think you're
because
right.
she had Spotter and then had
yeah, so she was
Inspire.
basically beers, but like,
Yeah, she's the lower
lowers.
Veers. Yeah, because she's got Spotter 1, Exemplar, and Inspire 1.
Yeah.
And she is 55 points. So the Rebel Officer, I do believe, is the cheapest because I don't think the tax
45,
squad.
but I mean,
No, he's at
He's-
50 now.
He's
is he at 50
He's
now?
50 now.
probably because of
Um,
Exemplar.
Probably.
And, well, no, and the fact he has Take Cover 1 and all your Rebel troopers have Agile, so they just get to keep that.
well, nimble.
Or Nimble,
Yeah.
not Agile, Nimble.
When I played Rebels,
I
using
had a lot of dodges on the
yeah, you have a
But
lot.
the problem is I made a new list where I'll be able to give them situational awareness,
Right.
but there's
Right.
so many
Yeah.
crits going through that
The T Series is 60, so he is the cheapest. So he should not, or 50.
Have you messed with Mandos yet? A Mandalorian list yet?
I started to, but then I'm looking at the deployments. I don't know what Mandos get you anymore. They're not going to be grabbing boxes.
No.
You know what I mean?
So what they do,
They're tough. They're a little bit cheaper.
bunker assault, they're special forces, and you can get to your opponent's bunker.
Yeah.
They
on
made their
probably
rockets
turn 2.
cheaper too. I think they're.
They
fine.
need to make their rockets like the
Yeah,
Shadow
like the
Collective
Shadow Collective
ones to
rockets,
make it
yeah.
not just range 3 to 4, but 1 to 4.
Do they have shields?
No,
No.
Yeah, they should have.
that's the
shields.
other thing that like they should just allow the Mandalorian Super Commandos should just be the new Mandalorian card. Period.
Yeah,
End of
I
story.
agree.
With
But-
all of the upgrades.
I mean, because I liked playing
Because they
them.
could just make that a mercenary one where you just put it on any.
You know, you put those, you run Leia handing out dodges. With all that stuff, you get them. They get them. I mean, that was a fun list to run.
And you throw now. I think you have to put recon intel on them so they get their speed 1 move before they're doing their speed 3 jumps to get them to where they
Yeah.
need to be.
Yeah. But yeah, that was. I'm just curious if you'd mess with it or look at it yet.
I've looked at it. I like one of my versions of the list doesn't have the 3 flamers, and I've tried it with Wookiees. I've tried it with Mandalorians. I think I like it best with Commandos, honestly.
Okay.
Dude,
But-
commandos are nice now.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
nice now,
Yeah.
but I don't know. I don't know what you get out of Mandalorians because you can't go pick up a box. You
Right.
can't go. I mean, you can get there and contest early, but if you're there,
Well,
if you double move there, you're there at turn 2. You're in the middle of the opponent's army, and you're the only unit there.
Yeah.
More than
you
likely.
can also use them to go get the strike teams that are hiding in the back.
Yeah.
I mean, they can just be your air speeders.
Right.
Hey, no, the Mandos are gonna go take care of that.
Does the sword guy give you them charge or anything?
No, he just gives them
Duelist.
duelist. They need a better heavy upgrade.
Well,
Honestly.
so probably what's gonna happen is one, they'll probably get all of the heavies will be the same from Shadow Collective. Like those should just be intermixed.
Yeah.
Period. And their pistols will probably go to melee to range,
Oh,
and it'll be a different
like
dice pool.
arcs.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like how all of the pistols
Have they
gone
done
to.
that already?
No,
No.
they haven't been updated,
Yeah.
and neither has Sabine. So Sabine will probably get updated to something.
So yeah, I think you're probably right. They'll probably go with the pistols and close combat and stuff.
Yeah, they'll be like arcs.
Yeah.
They'll be, 2 dice and maybe they'll be, or, I mean, it might be 3. Maybe there'll be 2 black and a white or a black and 2 white. I mean,
Speaking of arcs and Mandos and Superman, you guys like flight stands?
I hate them.
I hate flight stands.
I saw how you
know.
did your Mandos, and I wished I had done that afterwards.
Yeah,
I didn't see. My Mandos are my worst painted thing, and it's because I just got glue all over them messing with those stupid flight stands.
Yeah,
I don't mind the flight stands, like for my arcs,
Right.
but mine are all magnetized. So, like, they're on the flight stand.
I've
when
got
they
some
need to.
magnetized also. And I did some, but I went and some of those are third party.
Yeah.
So to make them look different, I picked up some third party stuff to add 1 or 2 in.
Because Darren hates the flight stands.
Dude, I hate the flight stands. I do, and it's not because of trying to get a modeling advantage or anything like that. Because all that went away with the
When they came out.
When the silhouette.
Yeah,
When it
with
came
the
out
silhouette.
With the
So,
silhouette.
so it's not modeling. I just don't like it. I don't like how it looks. I don't like rocks. I don't like it when
Oh my
somebody
god, you
gives
don't like
me
any of AMG stuff, then they have tactical rocks on
the
everything.
tactical rocks. I don't like because, and I understand why it's done sometimes, but I want to put my own basing on it. I want to make it look like I want
Like
it to
Yoda.
look.
You couldn't have Yoda being, how do I want to say that? Looking like he's doing something without having him leaping off the piece that's on with him, the rubble.
Yeah, either way. But the flight stands, I think they look wonky. I don't like.
I wouldn't be surprised if AMG just completely redoes everything with the flight stands. Because if you look at Shatterpoint and Marvel Crisis Protocol, AMG knows how to make a flying model that looks
Out
good.
of smoke.
And yeah, they could do it better than what FFG.
And they're soft plastic, so they're going to get redone.
Right.
And when they get redone, there probably won't be any flight stands.
I mean, look at the Shatterpoint ones. There's no flight stands.
Right.
They look cool.
Yeah, they do have a nice look to them. I agree. They did.
And I feel like when you're actually playing with a model that has a flight stand, it's kind of annoying because then they just kind of fall over sometimes.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
I hate that. And like I'll magnetize my stuff down.
Me too.
You got to pull it by that flight stand or the model, and you're either pulling the model off the flight stand or pulling the flight stand
And then
off
when
the base.
you're reaching and you're doing it's there because they're bigger than everything else. I just want to see if you guys hated them as much as I do.
Yeah.
I hate the flight stands, guys.
I like the concept of them. It's like, oh, you have like a cool dynamic pose, but
Right.
then it creates a lot of problems.
Yeah,
So I agree.
for a war game. I think they look great on a shelf. I think you can make them look great on a
Yep.
shelf, but I don't.
They're not practical.
Yeah.
Yeah, that whole first box of Mandos all together, like the 2-piece helmets. I didn't realize how they had to fit, like that there was a thing. So like, I was trying to put the big one on the small one, and I made a bunch of Mandos that looked like Darth's helmet. It was, I had to like redo them all. I actually ended up buying another box, and like, yeah, it was bad.
Yeah.
Because you used to run 3 Mandos in Sabine,
Yes.
right?
Yes.
You do the bombing run or
Yeah, and so I
Cover
had all
supplies.
and I had all the speed stuff in it, bombing run, supplies, breakthrough, all that stuff. Yeah, I actually felt bad for someone. He gave me recover the supplies, and I had Mandos, and he let me get to recover the supplies.
Yep.
And I was like, "Are you sure?" Yeah. All right.
you had recon intel
Yeah,
on the Mandos,
yeah, I
so
had
they're
recon-
deploying
Yeah.
and getting the move.
Yeah,
And then-
and I felt bad because by turn 2, I was moving back with the
Right.
boxes, and he's like, I was like, yeah,
That's game.
that's
Hey,
it.
that's
That's
You have to come all the way
Yeah,
and kill me.
yeah,
So
that's
good luck.
it. Yeah,
Here's all my other guys that aren't Mandos. They're in my army.
yeah,
that will,
and I don't care if you kill them all
right.
because I've got these guys who are just going to run away, and
I have these 3 Mandos that will still be alive at the end of the game.
Yeah. So I actually kind of felt bad.
I mean, and so to that point, I like how there's no objective like that to where it's,
Uh-huh.
oh, hey, I misdeployed, so on turn 0, now you've won the game on turn 1.
But still, okay, keep in mind, it's a shorter game. And so at turn 0, if you misdeploy and you realize it at turn 0, you might be able to fix it by
Right.
turn 4.
Right.
Maybe, depending on the game. In
This one,
game,
the unit could be gone. Because
this game you misdeploy.
the
or you
first
do
game my
something
son
wrong.
played,
Yeah.
he scouting moved up his BX droids, their Scout 3, and then double moved them because he wanted to get by where the objective was. Well, then that put him in range of me being able to scout Wookiees, move, pop offensive push, and shoot him. And 2 shots later, all of his BX droids were dead.
Yeah, and
So and then he did it again with Maul.
Yes, he did. Well, but at least he was aggressive
Chip
with
off the
Maul.
old block.
Yeah. well, no, okay, because his first game, Maul only saber throwed from an elevated position and never moved into combat with anything. So I told him, you need to be aggressive. But I did tell him, you don't want to leave him out to dry. You want to hide him and then go. And I guess he did not.
I did kind of trick him though, because I put Vader in a spot. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna go to a spot where I can go get Vader next turn." But I don't think he realized the rest of my guys I can deploy could just shoot them all.
Right.
But so then that's another thing then too. Why I think order control is really important because say like, "Oh, I don't want to go with Maul right now or Vader or something," but
Yep.
you get them, you have to go with them.
Unless you have
Yeah.
improvised orders.
And so, and that's, I think, table terrain, choosing your side, being blue player, choosing your side.
Yep.
I think that makes a difference, knowing your order control, whether or not you have it or not. Being able to take and like, oh, well, I don't want to go with this guy, but if I put him out there, it's dicks in the breeze.
Right.
So instead of getting as aggressive as I want to get, now I'm going to have to stay back, and I'm not going to have to go. So I've got to stay back and keep them safe until everybody else is deployed. And so I think it makes you play a little differently.
That's
on that
why I
turn.
don't think you divulge Anakin's 1 pip. Because Anakin is on the table by himself.
Oh yeah.
With a dodge,
Yeah.
but like...
Yeah. Oh no. But it's nice to have it.
Maybe. Yeah, if you get that advantage card, so hey, I'll have 2 units out here, maybe that's worth it.
And then that's where, because that's like prepared positions. Then I'm not sure how good that is
You
because
need to have a lot of it. Like
Yeah.
if you take Echo Base, and so you've got your FDs, your Mark IIs, and your veterans, so half of your army is starting with 8 or dodges on the board. I
You're
think
fine.
you're fine.
But that card, that
But
prepared-
Darren got 1, and he just got 1, so he put out his rocket guys, and then like we're getting ready. He's like, well, I'm not in range of anything, so I have to move to shoot. But he's like, these guys are still just sitting out here, so like you could come get me. I'm like, yep, I can. I could just put down and start shooting at them, and
Yeah, if you get it with 1 squad, you got to just because I got it in our game last
Yeah.
night. I just put them behind cover, and
Yeah.
they were the last thing I activated.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. So I couldn't get them.
right. I think what they should do. So the whole rolling to see who's blue player, you roll the 5 black dice now. Most crits, most hits, most surges. I think if you're tied all the way through, it's whoever used the least amount of points then. Because that way then, hey, I didn't use all my points. It gives me a very minute maybe advantage. But you're not going to see 10-point bids. You're going to see 1 to 2 points.
There's
Well,
no point in not
see,
using
the-
all your points though now.
Right.
I
'Cause it
want
all-
everyone to use all their points.
Well,
Right,
you
but
do.
no, but
You
what I'm
know what
saying
I
is,
mean?
hey,
Like-
if I have $7.99, that gives me that little, hey, you get to pick it if...
Should have done your math better.
Oh, don't worry, I do.
$7.99, you gotta rework.
Don't worry, I do.
Yeah.
Because I
Dude,
mean,
if there was
I've
a- if
always
there was-
used 800 points.
If there was a 1-point ad, I would put it on someplace. If there was a 1-point ad, I'd add it. No.
I do think with these new objectives, I was looking at them earlier today. There's none of these cards that I think any SKU completely owns that objective. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know if you would ever want to like bid 30 points to
Oh,
Right.
to
There's-
have an
there's no key
objective for
position
your army
or-
where you're automatically gonna like Mando's and recover.
Oh yeah.
I don't
Yeah.
think there's anything
Yeah.
in there like that where it's a
I
default
disagree.
win.
I think the secondary one, bring them to heal the suppression one, that
Yeah.
favors Empire.
Some
Like,
of the secondaries definitely
But
push towards
I agree, not
those.
any of the main objectives, but definitely that secondary.
If you have Krennic or Vader,
Krennic or Vader, you probably don't want to go against that.
no.
FPs
But
with barrage generators would probably be pretty good.
Or
with that,
E-Webs
too.
with Barrage
Yeah.
Generator.
well, but you also have mortars that are suppressive. You've got
Death
Or-
Troopers,
yeah.
there's Range Troopers, there's
yeah,
so many things.
There's so
that
many
are that's
suppressive. Not you.
Yeah.
What
Yeah, that's one of the things. If you're when you're doing that turn 0 or whatever it will
turn half, whatever you want to call it now.
If you're playing against an Empire and he's got that up,
You flip it.
yeah,
It's yours.
Use your
Use your
yeah
to get it, and hopefully you don't have it in your deck.
yeah. No, yeah, I don't know. There's no way I'd put it in mine. I
No.
don't think.
No,
You'd
not
have
mine.
to have
No.
any
Yeah.
other.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
that's
yeah,
one
you're
thing,
right.
yeah.
You put. He's gonna try
But-
and sneak 3 in there.
Right, but if you use Krennic's card, you both score it.
Yeah.
So,
But then if you're already ahead on objectives,
right, then if that
Yeah.
pushes you over, then that's great.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
because all eligible units are going to have suppression, both of you will score that at the same time. But if you're only 1 away and they're 2 away, well, you just won.
And my thing with the blue player stuff, I don't really think I'm gonna like, at least specifically for tournaments, is because then now you have to do your objective stuff first before you set out your army and stuff.
Right? Because you don't know who's.
you don't know what side
you
you're
got
gonna
to
be
have a
on.
tray and
Yeah.
just keep it in your
Yeah.
tray.
Oh yeah, good call. Yeah.
So then I could see that being kind of annoying, where
But I do love that there's no like disarray or long. I'm like, I shouldn't have to
Yeah.
walk around the
You
table
won't have to do
at a
that
turn.
anymore.
Yeah.
I'm going to deploy on my half the table
Well, I think, and a lot of times those were taken out
because of that.
because of that for tournaments. Well, I don't know many people who are going to put that in a list,
I liked having it just so people wouldn't.
so they go away from it. Yeah.
Yeah.
As tournament guys, are you guys gonna have to then like mark every spot that has a POI or whatever you call it,
Nope.
No,
I
and
am
then not put terrain on
Nope,
there? Or are you
because
gonna-
it states in the rules. Like I am going to be semi cognizant of the fact that in the middle is where everybody's going to be fighting on pretty much all of these things. But I'm still going to make my table look like a cool table
Right.
because it states in the rules if a POI is supposed to go on a piece of terrain that it can't lay flat on or whatever, you move the piece of terrain. The 2 players are supposed to move it in a mutually agreed way. Which to me, I'm just going to tell them, call Darren or I over, and we'll move the piece of terrain because who's ever going to be like, well, no, I want you to go this way because then it's going to affect me
Right.
better. Oh no, I want you to go this way. Like,
And well, we had to move, but we just did it the way it made sense. Because if you've got the piece of terrain here and the POI was here, well, just move it just a skosh down.
Right.
Same over here. If it's over there, well, you just move the terrain.
but like
yeah.
we also use a lot of like area terrain, which I think is also a cool thing to use and should be on more tables. But then you don't care. It can be on area terrain because area terrain it's not impassable.
Right.
You
Yeah.
can just
Yeah.
move into it then. So,
Yeah. No,
Like
I
scout
don't.
and stuff, right?
What I don't want.
well, no, you could still do it with Scout.
Yeah, but I think like with recon intel now, it specifically says you're not unhindered.
Correct, but
Yeah.
you were never unhindered with
Okay.
Scout.
Yeah.
So it was always just a speed X move. But now it's a move action. So that's why they have to put that in there because
Gotcha.
a move action should be reduced speed from terrain.
Right. But they got to put it in because move action will give you your
Gives you your dodge, gives you your tactical.
all that stuff.
It can
Yeah.
proc charge. No, it
Yeah.
really won't because there's no way somebody can be in your deployment. So like,
Not yet. No.
no, I mean, well, maybe I guess if you've got some, well, no, because they don't get 3 moves if you're in
Oh.
transport. And yeah, maybe Mandos if you put Mando, but I think only core can go into transport now
Yeah.
because the transport keyword has changed. And
Speaking of that, there's something I've been wondering that I'm curious if you guys have anything about. Because, you know, Veers, he has guidance ground vehicle or whatever.
guidance vehicle
It's, I think it was ground vehicle.
is it? You know what?
Because I
haven't
think that's
looked yet.
something I did wrong. I don't think I was supposed to be able to guidance the lat.
Yes, it is guidance ground vehicle.
Okay.
You
So
are
that's something
correct.
we did wrong in our game.
We.
Hey, you're responsible for game state
He's
too.
gonna call me out on it. But so, do you think Veers could electro binoculars like a transport or not electro binoculars guidance like something to go onto the board?
No, because when he activates, his first action has to be a move, and then that transport's not on the board.
Oh, so then he's like not in range.
So then he's not in range of
Okay.
it because things on the board are not in range of things off of the board.
Okay.
But everything off of the board is in range and line of sight of each other.
So when you're giving out orders, you're off of the board, and so everybody's
So,
in range of everyone.
Luke, deploying by himself on the board, can't be given issued an order unless he's issuing it only to himself, and then he can't issue it to anybody else in the army. That's why I don't think you're going to hardly ever use prepared positions for Anakin.
Oh yeah, no.
Yeah, 'cause
You're
then
gonna-
you wouldn't be able to.
Because then you can only give Anakin an order if Anakin's giving an order to himself. Or Anakin doesn't get an order and his order now is in the bag and you don't get to control when he goes.
No.
Unless you pop his seize the initiative on turn 1, which is not when you want to pop that.
Okay.
So you just take Rex, give Rex recon intel and scouting party Anakin in,
Yeah.
and it's
Yeah.
better than the
It
point.
works.
But yes, no, guidance ground vehicle is
Burst of speed, I think on
no, like well no,
Jedis.
because
no, on Jedi's, I think burst of speed is more.
right, because you're just going to move your ATST up, Veers can then guidance it, and you can take a standby.
Yeah, that's probably what you're going to see a lot of. Is
In my opinion, Ion should remove standbys. I don't know if it does. I haven't read the thing.
That
but
would be cool.
that would be like, hey, you just got Ion. If you gain an Ion token, you strip standbys.
That would make sense, actually, because it'd be like
It'd be like a
vehicle
suppression,
equivalent of
right?
suppression.
But Ion's completely different now too. So, but like, yeah, but no, like that's you can do that with the Gab tank. The Gab tank moves on. It can shoot. Veers can go. You can put a standby on the Gab tank. The Gab tank's base is insane, so it's probably going to get to because again, everybody wants to get to the middle. So and since your vehicle can contest, well, I'm capturing this or securing this now. So
Well, and then that's why I was asking that question, because then if you guidance a vehicle onto a thing, say you're doing the Gab tank, then would you deploy your transport guys then? Or
you would have to. Yep. Per the transport rules, yes, but you can't.
But then, like, he would still be able to move twice then. So if you wanted to get to the middle or something just cause.
Right.
Then,
But like,
Yeah.
but then you could also do that with after they get
Yeah.
on. You can
Yeah.
move twice, and then, or you can move once and shoot, and then the guidance can be a move. So then you can just move to get to the.
so
middle.
then, speaking of transport stuff, what do you guys think of how it works now?
I never took transports before because the Republic only has the LAT.
I did the 2 land speeder,
single
Luke,
dude.
Yeah.
Luke and Han
Han.
in them, and
The
it's a
drive-by.
fun list.
But you can't do that now.
Can't do
But
that.
I can't do that now. And
I used the bus with Wookiees in it.
I think Bus fleet troopers could be good, but I still think you want to just take fleet troopers with the extra guys and give them recon intel.
I think you're going to see it in Empire a lot with snowtroopers, with flamethrowers, a lot
Oh,
more.
on the Gav tank, absolutely.
And then when the riot guys come out,
Yep.
I'll probably put them in a transport. They seem interesting.
they seem like that would be what they would do in like
Mm-hmm.
a movie.
Right, yeah.
You
They're
know,
in the
like-
thing. Here they come and they hop
Cool,
out.
right.
Cool stuff.
They're really cool.
I mean, and now since you can't displace, you can put your guys out, and then your transport can move through your own guys, not giving them any suppression, and be in front of them, blocking line of sight because it's a ground vehicle.
Yeah.
And then whenever you want to go with them, then they can go. So like, I still think transport has its rule or its uses. It's just you can no longer move all the way across the board. You're getting a free whatever, which with the bus and the Gav tank having that longer pill-shaped thing, that speed 1 move to get on, or whatever speed 2 move, whatever that their speed is, like that gets you a decent way out. And then your unit that's inside gets a free speed 1 disembark, gets their order, and then can still take their 2 actions. So it's a better version of Scout, I guess.
Pretty much.
But you're forced to have the transport go first before your unit so that they can get out to do the things they need to do.
Yeah.
So
But then you can only do a core of special forces though, so you can't.
is it core and special
Yeah,
forces?
so it's
Okay.
like most of the people that would use transports, you throw in like Vader, Dark Troopers, or like
Right.
stuff like that. You can't really
Right,
do
Pal.
that.
Can't throw Palp on the
So it's like
Boatmobile
I don't
anymore.
think you're gonna see transports. as
E-webs
much.
can't go in the Gav tank
Yeah, which I
anymore.
like doing that.
Make your own technical.
It, land speeders losing transport does kind of bring you down. A
Oh,
little
did they?
bit.
Did they?
Yeah, they
I
just
think
don't
because
even
there's
have it
because
at
there's no
all.
single transport anymore. It's just transport,
Well, 'cause-
and it's only core and special forces. I
But
guess.
for
Oh.
couldn't they only hold like one?
Right,
They
Yeah.
could
You
only
put
hold
Han-
one model, so it wouldn't work on them.
So who would you put in?
Han.
Yeah, it wouldn't work now.
But
But
he's a commander though.
Right? Yeah. No. So
But
you
like
could.
now, they
Yeah.
can-
But no, that's what he's saying. Because the Landspeeder was great as a drive-by
Yeah.
for Han because it gives him heavy cover.
Mhm.
He just has heavy cover all the time.
and low profile.
And low profile, and uncanny luck, and he measure from the base of the land speeder, which is way bigger than Han's base. So he goes kapew kapew,
Yeah, that was a fun list.
But yeah, so like
or
Are
the
you gonna-
Sabine bombs.
Right.
you can't really transport anyone
No,
with the rebels with it.
No. I mean,
That's why it's
yeah,
fun.
I mean, it makes sense. It's a different edition, you know, but
it's a home game. Let's come on, guys.
rest in peace to that list, you know.
Yep.
That list won that last tournament that you guys did.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
The,
Spring training.
Oh
the
yeah.
spring
Yep.
training one.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. I was like, wait, did it? Yeah, it did.
Yeah,
Yes,
the
it
one
did.
where
Yeah.
you didn't get anything.
Yeah.
The one where we gave the presents from the bottom up.
Yeah, that one I won.
Yeah, sorry, Chris.
Congratulations.
Yeah.
We knew we were gonna win. So.
That's right. Well, Chris was on a roll when he first started. Like,
I know.
God, nobody could beat him.
I know. I won my first 2 tournaments, and I think that
You won the first fall brawl.
that screwed up my expectations of how good I was going to do.
Yeah.
Yes, I'm bad. Damn.
But so consensus, you guys like the new
I love
edition?
it. I've played 3 games so far. I've played you, and Jeff, and well, for one, I'm undefeated. But also, they've all been really fun games, and they're bloody. The reason I like Legion is this game feels the most like going out back when I was a kid and playing guys with my next door neighbor. You know
Okay.
what I mean?
Yep.
It's like the action figure type thing.
Yep. Okay.
And the old way, like when we had the old, what do you call it, objectives,
Mhm.
you had a lot of playing for ties, a lot of hiding, and like if you were out back playing action figures with your friend, and he's like, I'm going to take my guys and I'm going to hide behind this rock, and then at the end of the day, we're going to call it a tie. You'd be like, screw you, Billy, I'm going home. You know, and there's
Fuck Billy.
Yeah, there's none of that in this. You're going to go to the center and you are going to shoot a bunch of guys and you're going to lose a bunch of guys.
So I have a question. Since Jeff lost, did he enjoy the game?
Oh yeah, he had a lot.
Okay,
of
because
fun.
Jeff is an old 40K player. He played
yeah.
40K,
Yeah.
just like most. Well, did you play 40K?
Yeah.
So all of us except for the youngling here.
Yeah, I've played it a couple times.
Okay,
All right,
okay.
all right.
I'm sorry. Jeff has said multiple times with Legion, with original Legacy Legion, whatever you want to call it, he had more fun losing at Legion than winning at 40K. And so I was wondering if he still had.
and like
Because
Jeff shooting 60 stormtroopers. He killed all my vehicles, and sometimes that's all Jeff cares about.
right,
You know
Right.
what I mean? Like,
yes.
But yeah, it was a fun
I'm-
game.
I was curious if he is still enjoying
Yeah,
it.
he
even though
liked it a
lost
lot.
Okay.
I like it because I like that you just get right into things with. Because
I did not think that was going to happen.
my play style is always I like being more aggressive. Anyways, I never like just kind of sitting and
That's why I
waiting.
played
Right.
So
You should try Wookiees. Okay.
I don't have like any clones.
Wookiee Battle Force. Just buy Wookiees. You can take all Wookiees.
We don't want him to play clones. You wouldn't want to be a whiner anyway.
Yeah,
That's what Kyle does. Kyle's basically.
So you could do it better.
Beat him with
Wait,
his
oh,
arm.
he won the last tournament.
Yes, he did.
Oh, wait,
Yeah.
never mind.
I'll win the next one.
There you go. You'll win in October.
Ooh,
There we go.
All right.
I'll take his place.
Got to put on the smelly hat.
Yeah. Yeah.
Has Kyle played it? Has he said anything about
Yeah,
it?
he likes it. You'll need to talk to him more for more of his thoughts.
Yeah.
But I know he likes it overall. He likes the deployment. I think the biggest thing, at least me, I don't know if I really like, is cover. Just because it's.
Talk to that guy.
But I completely agree with you. You're gonna have games where cover does a lot, or there's games where it does absolutely nothing.
Cover does nothing.
So it's like it's not.
It's really swinging.
I don't know. It's swingy. It reminds me of 40K toughness saves. You know, you'd have your toughness and your armor.
Yep.
And like, I keep screwing up the order. Like,
Cover, then dodges.
right.
Then
and then
armor.
like, especially with the vehicles, like
Yeah.
me and Jeff's game, I did the cover saves and then forgot to take out the armor 3 on my vehicle.
Oh, oops.
And then it died. And then I figured it out later, just like, should have known.
Yep. Yeah, I can see Jeff saying that.
But
Yeah.
me personally, I feel like you can get away with just ignoring, like not even worrying about being in cover, because sometimes it might not even matter. Like say, I have heavy cover.
You don't have the guarantee of cover, so being in cover.
I'm personally not a fan of the whole half range to cover to get cover.
Yeah,
It
And
does
Darren-
speed it up though. I like that you don't have to get down and check line of sight. I always hate that aspect of it. You just look at it, you measure it, you either have it or you don't, you move on.
I
And
still
it just
think
makes
it's
it so
as
much
important
smoother.
now. I think it's important on the vehicles because like that's kind of good that you have it built in. But I think you can get away with just not worrying about having cover.
You know how you fix
Sometimes.
that? Bring smoke grenades. Just bring your own cover.
Yeah.
But especially with how the suppression cover kind of works now.
Right?
Because one thing I like doing with range troopers was just spurring with them because they're indomitable, so you roll it off anyways, most likely. But because then you can just go out. And
Oh, until you get your 30-man squad. Oh wait, no, they're support, aren't they?
Yeah,
They don't get to have 30-man squads.
That's fine. They don't need it. But then I like to spur with them and then just move out kind of into the open, get a cheeky shot on someone that they weren't kind of expecting. Then if you shoot at them, they have like cover armor 1. So a lot of those shots, like
Right.
they would be fine. But now it's just like if you have cover, you might not even get it. So
Right. It could be useless.
That's the one thing. It's you don't have the guarantee of a couple. So and I don't know. I was keeping track of how many times I rolled cover.
Right. Well, you're only up
You
to 2.
definitely got some.
So he has more than 2 now.
Yeah.
Okay.
But my first 2 games, I had 2 total cover
Yeah.
that I made. That was it in my first 2 games. I'm like, all right, come on. And I rolled some off in our game. There's more than 2.
Yes.
But it wasn't.
It wasn't. I don't know if it was as good as.
No, it wasn't as good as what it should have been.
I have found that.
Although a lot of times we were playing, you kept getting hit by sharpshooter guys. So you know what I mean.
Right.
So remember, it would have only been 1 taken off.
Yeah, but
Because then for my game yesterday, I think we only did 2 cover saves total because a lot of my attacks were blast or I was melee stuff.
Right,
So
yeah.
it's like I never really shot.
and the same when I was going against you. There was a lot of times it was just melee or
Right.
blast.
And I just think like depending on the situation, instead of like, oh, I'm gonna move here so I get cover, it might just be better. So it's like, oh, I'm gonna move here out in the open so I can shoot this guy. And
Or I need to move to where the POI
Well, yeah,
is
towards
so
the
I can
objective.
contest it.
Yeah. And I was thinking too. I did put smoke on one of my arcs. I was thinking about instead of that, you go with because cover can screw you. Your opponent can roll 6 cover
All 6s,
saves,
yep.
right? Instead of you're like, oh well, shit.
Go with
But
the concussion
go
grenades.
concussion grenades, so you don't have to worry about it now. Yeah, you're
My guess is they're going to change all the grenades to be allowed to be used in melee.
probably.
In which case, then absolutely. Why wouldn't you take it?
But then also you just get a lot closer, a lot faster.
Right.
So you
That's
don't
why
really
I
have-
like. That's why I like my Wookiees now because you have to get to the middle. I only have to go halfway across the board now with my Wookiees.
Yeah.
I don't have to get 3/4 or all the way over because you're sitting back there with your gun line.
Yeah, because
Sit back there with your gun line. I'll just claim the objectives and win in 2 or 3 turns.
Because then it's not really like you're having, I'm having the long range like
Right.
shootouts.
And so that's
because-
what was surprised me is that when they announced you don't deploy on, I'm just like, oh my, you're never going to shoot turn 1 then. All you're going to
that's-
do is, no, you are, because
You are definitely
everybody is
shooting turn
moving
one.
in. Yeah.
It's turn 1.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, like that's what's going to happen, and so I love that turn 1, even though it takes longer to get done because it is deployment and your actual turn in the first thing. I love that it like how Chris has said, it's more aggressive. You can't just sit and wait and hide for 4 turns. In 2 hours in, okay, this is probably gonna be the final turn. This is when I gotta. There's not going to be judge calling on how much time is left, which you supposedly can't do in the official AMG tournaments, which we are not.
Yeah.
So-
I don't know that a lot of games are going to go the distance if they're playing well the way it scores.
Right, because once you get to 12, you're done.
yeah,
That can be in 3 turns,
I
maybe.
think we were at turn 3, 8, 6 or something like that. So
Turn
it was-
3, 8, 6, and I bet if we would have finished that turn, it would have been done because I would have only needed 4 points,
Yeah.
and I think
you would have.
it would have been. So that would have been
that or damn near.
or you did something amazing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, then since everyone's also new to it because it's a new edition, but
Yeah.
everyone's got to get used to how things work in turn 1. So once
Right.
everyone understands how things work, you're gonna at least tournaments. I feel like you're gonna fly through them.
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
if you're not,
Yeah.
if you know, okay, this is so you had your plan ahead of time. I know I'm going to do this card that I'm going to give orders to these people, and then
and
I'm going to
setup
go
is
like
going to go
this.
faster. Setup is going to go faster. Deployment's going to go faster. Going through your turn 0. Turn 0 used to take a little bit longer.
Right, because you're like,
for us.
oh, do I want to
Yeah.
do this? I want to do. Now it's just like flip it,
You'll
go,
learn
flip
it.
it, go,
You'll
flip
learn
it,
it
go.
faster.
you're done.
You'll know it better, and you'll know the missions better. We've between us, we've only got 9 games or
Something like that,
3.
probably.
How many games have you got?
2.
Two.
Two and a
No, you've
half.
got 3.
yeah.
I got 2.
Yeah.
So
I mean, so it's going to get
right,
better,
it will get
and
so, but I mean, like
faster.
even,
meaning-
but it will like turn 1 will still take longer because you are deploying and doing turn 1 than what normally just turn 1 took. But again, you don't have the deployment. Which I'm gonna hem and haul. Okay, where do I need to put this thing to make sure I'm out of line of sight to start with?
You're
and
still
where
having
am I
it on
putting
a
this?
little bit when
Yeah. Here's a dumb thing that I like better about this turn 0. You don't need all that space of having the 4 lines of or
Oh, the
3
three
lines of
of
4
4
cards. How many times do you just not have space to do that at a table because there's not enough there's terrain there and you don't actually have the room.
Where
to
now
do
this
it.
is a truncated, smaller.
Yeah, nice little square. You can get it done.
Yeah.
Also, the other thing I don't like is the upgrade cards being bigger for no reason.
Yeah, I haven't actually seen them, but yeah, I don't know why we're going to change that this late.
'Cause-
Although, as an old man who had to buy bifocals when he first started Marvel Crisis Protocol,
Hold on.
I do like that you can read them a little better.
Right. Well, and it's also because they want to do all the languages.
Is that the size
That's
they
the
are?
size.
Yeah,
That's the
oh,
same
well.
size.
They're yeah.
I can read that.
Yeah,
so,
look at that.
Yeah.
It's the same size.
Although, if you're going to have it this big, why isn't there cool art?
Because
You know,
they,
like,
because
there
text.
is.
Is that
Yeah.
Well, I think it's because I believe they said there's not going to be art on the upgrade
back, yeah.
cards.
Okay.
So it's because this, like they mentioned in the stream, in
So why does it
German
have to be
takes
bigger?
up like a third or more of this card because German is
Right.
a longer language, which we care about because we had
We had
We'll
no
probably
idea.
get a
we
bunch
had
of
no
German
idea we
people.
had people from Germany
yeah,
watching.
We,
So.
we had no idea we had people from Germany. We gave them a shout out because we didn't know.
Yeah. So, but yeah, and I guess some people have said, well, you can just put it underneath the unit card because all you need is just this bottom or just the name.
Right.
So maybe it won't take as much space, but like
We'll figure it out.
I had the cool binder holder things that had
Same.
the big
Yeah.
card and then the little
Same,
ones.
same,
And now those are all going to be like, well, that's useless, I
Yeah.
guess.
I
don't-
never use those, so that one doesn't bother me. But
I like them because, especially with tournaments, that
Yeah,
it's like
because it's
you
so
can
quick.
just
You just
move
be able to go
around
bing,
pretty
bing, bing,
easily.
bing, and then pick them up.
I just bring the cards I need, put them in my bag, and then it sets up real fast.
But I guess like I'm assuming that you don't have to have one for one anymore, like unit cards. So you can just bring, hey, even though I have 4 Stormtrooper squads, here's my 1 Stormtrooper unit card
Well, I don't
for
think
my 4.
I don't
and
think
then here
things
the
are
upgrade
going to
cards
be
for it.
as strict on that now too, though, just because everything's like print and play right now. So
Right.
it's like you can't.
Well, and I
It's
don't.
hard to enforce.
And
that,
they've said that they're never going to go away from the print and play.
Yeah.
Like they're going to release the card packs once everything's done, but those aren't going to be required. You can still just print and play, which is again why it's fine to call it a new edition AMG because you're not making us spend $80 on fucking army books. Oh, but I have to spend $20 or $30 to print it and then bind it. Well, then don't do that. Have it on your phone. Like you
That
don't-
being said, you see a lot of things online where, new edition of Legion, game's dead. You
Oh,
know,
yeah,
we
yes.
did see
Yeah.
that. So,
Oh,
yeah, we've.
so
and-
I understand why they're not saying it.
Yeah, and I get that, and no kidding. I mean, as soon as I heard New Edition,
Darren was like, well,
well,
shit.
I'm old, right? And I've been through, and like we talked about, I've been through a lot of editions, and I was ready to hate this when we started playing. And for all you out there that hate it, I was ready to hate it. I was on board, man. I understand your pain. I was on board. I wanted to fucking hate this game, but I played it, and
It's a new game.
I
It's
actually like
not
it.
old Legion. Like
it's not old Legion. I like it. So if you hate the game and you haven't played it yet, play the fucker. Give it a chance because it's a
you can
good
play
game.
it more than once.
Yeah.
Like
And the list possibilities now.
it's crazy.
Another 200
Oh.
points is just so much fun.
Well, it is the list
And the
possibilities
units that were horrible that nobody took, now are like, oh, well,
now. Yeah,
maybe that'll be good to
we
take
haven't
now.
we haven't even scratched the surface on some of the stuff that
Fleet Troopers.
we've got ideas for that we
I've always loved Commandos,
Yeah.
like Rebel Commandos.
So there's a bunch of stuff. We're going to do more of this because as we play more, we're going to talk about different units that we're using because we like to try out all kinds of different shit.
There will be a video of me ranting about Kenobi. Don't worry, Dan, it's coming. Don't worry,
it'll be there. All right. So
not tonight.
as for tonight, I think we've like did
Yeah.
this for a bit. All right.
Oh yeah,
yeah. Thank you guys for coming out.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, you bet. And if you stayed this long, this is for you. Stop watching us.
Go roll some dice.